Hey, Kevin, what were some of the factors that went into that fast start? Knockout punch felt like it came pretty quickly for you guys.
I think the two big, we had our best practice we've had all year yesterday. I gave him a day off after Alcorn, knowing that we'd only have one day to prepare. But they responded. They came back with what you saw in the first half is how we practiced yesterday. The intensity was great. We got after each other. And then, I've challenged Jacoby a little bit. He's got Bruce, now he's got Braden Smith. This league has point guard after point guard after point guard. And I thought the way Jacoby came out and set the tone, I thought that was a big difference.
Obviously, you expect every Big Ten game to be a grind, but what does a win like this kind of tell you what this team is capable of?
Yeah, I think, this is a good Ohio State team. They just came off a tough loss at Pitt. This is, you'll take these. You don't get them very often, so I'm just going to take it.
You mentioned the good practice. Just outside of that, have you seen a defensive effort like this building up over games and practices?
I mean, we're the 8th ranked defensive team in the country, so we've been kind of doing it all year. But to do it in a conference game, I think, was the most important thing. I mean, it's our second half defensive effort against Villanova was pretty darn good. These guys have been given great effort all year for the most part.
And you feel like the defense did spur how good you guys were on offense tonight?
Yeah, I think, again, Jacoby really set the tone. Jew got off to a good start. We hit a couple shots. We made a quick adjustment in our press at the under 16 timeout that I think helped us and kind of threw them off a little bit. So it's a fun thing about this team. They're smart. We can make a quick little adjustment and they can do it. I thought Jacoby and Rodney to start the game at the front of the press were great.
Eli in the front and Alex in the back.
Kevin, to hold Thornton to 3 points, no assists in the first half, what did you see in defending him?
We wanted to make him a scorer. He played 45 minutes against Pitt. He had 11 assists, 2 turnovers. He just kept getting in the lane, throwing lobs, and they kept collapsing and then kicking out. Our whole goal was not to give them a 3-point shot in the first half. That was our goal. We were going to let Bruce, if he scored 20 against us, we were going to be good with it. You cannot let Parrish, Mobley, and those guys shoot threes. If they do, Bruce Thornton's way too good. So we just stayed at home and shoot or stayed at home with the big guys and just made him try to finish. It wasn't, sometimes it's not rocket science, it's just take away a great point guard's options.
Hey, Coach Willard, good to see you. You mentioned how games like this don't happen all the way back here. You're good. You mentioned how games like this don't happen all the time. I'm just curious, first in terms of your time here in Maryland and just, I know it's a long time, but coaching in general, where does this performance rank up in terms of the way you've seen your teams play complete games in the history of your coaching?
So there's 2 big things the reason I think we obviously at Jacoby, but when our student section is the way it is, and have the energy that they have, this building it's a different vibe. The old people stand up and cheer. I've always said, like, when the students are out and going, they force everyone else to get up and get going. And I thought the students and the vibe from the start was phenomenal. I thought they really. This building is special when it's rocking. And again, we didn't rock it last year because when you hit the back of the rim every time, it's really tough to cheer for someone when you're missing shots. So I thought the student section was phenomenal. I thought the crowd was great, and you need this in Big Ten play.
And just to follow up real quick, have you ever had a team click like this against a solid conference opponent this early in the season?
Yeah, I've been a head coach for 18 years, so it's been once or twice. It's happened. Not often. Not against a really good team, but I might have gotten lucky once or twice.
Kevin, a couple questions about Derek. First of all, it seemed like his pivoting the post, his ability to kind of score, no matter who's guarding him, but also his passing and looking for teammates. How much does that kind of help you solve most defenses you see when he could do those things?
I just think I don't think people will figure out what to do with Jew and Derek. For me, it's pretty easy. I mean, Maryland fans better get used to watching him, in my opinion, because I don't think he's going to be here next year. He's an old school type player, and that's probably the best compliment I can give somebody. He plays like a 50-year-old man. He sees the game that way. He's so smart. He doesn't have to go fast. He doesn't have to. He knows where everybody is. He knows every offense. He puts everybody in the right position. Put him in an NBA situation with a big lane and a bigger arm. I mean, that kid's gonna be special. I mean, he really is. So I mean, you're watching a pro, and I've been around pros. You're just seeing what a pro looks like at 19 years old as a freshman. So it's not anything special. It's just he's a pro.
And to follow up, for Juju and for Derek, on the other side, how much does their mobility and their ability to get at the perimeter and bother guys there change, your defense?
Well, I mean, I give Jew a lot of credit because I've had to move him and change our pick and roll coverage than we did for the last 2 years, and Jew's adjusted really well. It's a lot different. We're not switching nearly as much as we have in the past 2 years. We're doing some weird rotations that I've never done because I've never had two bigs like this. But Jew and Derek have really worked well together in changing our pick and roll coverage. Second half was a little bit different, but for the most part, they're really working well together, covering each other. And for Jew, it's a huge adjustment because I've totally changed our pick and roll package, our defensive package.
Coach, here
Ricky
in
in
the
the
back.
back, and then George.
Tafara, high flying dunk, and then a 3 in the beginning of the first half. His athleticism was all over the place today. Tell me what he brings off the bench, especially with Derek and Jew.
He's just different. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing. When he went in the portal, we recruited him. I had known him. He's a great kid. He's a very smart young man. And it's just, for me, it's just giving him enough time to let him make a difference on the court. He's just getting used to playing defense. It's the biggest thing. Once he kind of gets what we're doing defensively, he's going to get better and better. He's going to see more time. It's just, he's coming from a totally different defensive scheme than what we play, and he gets lost a lot, especially early in the season. He got lost a lot. He's not getting lost anymore. I think you're starting to see someone that has a lot more confidence in his game.
George in the middle.
Hey Kevin, kind of playing off of Ricky's question, how important was it to see your first rotations off the bench, guys like Tafara and Deshaun, not only maintain the lead but help to extend it in that time when you had your starters resting?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you look at Deshaun's numbers and they don't blow you away, but then you look at the impact he's having on the game when he's coming off the bench. It's been, for me, I have so much confidence knowing the fact that he's going to make the right plays. He knows what to do. When you know you don't have a drop off coming off the bench, it makes you able to go to the bench a lot more confident. It also makes sure the 5 guys that are out there understand that if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, there's guys sitting down there who are going to very gladly come out and take their minutes. So I think this is a very unselfish team, and they all root for each other. But I think if I was on the court, I'd know that there's someone sitting down that can come in and change the game.
Colin in the back, and then we'll go to Josh.
Hey, Coach. You talked about Thornton a little bit earlier, but can you talk about Jacoby's defense on him, particularly, obviously, carrying the load offensively and then guarding kind of their best player?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kobe and Rodney, to be honest with you, because the whole goal is you get it out of his hands early in the press, make him work to get it back, to get him out of their offense. So I think Rodney and Jacoby did a great job. And again, I challenged Jacoby. I think Jacoby could be as the best guard in this conference. Wait, you got to go out and prove it every night in this conference. And I thought he played. This was really the first time I thought he played with an edge, a real edge. He played good at Marquette, but I thought tonight he came out with a purpose of trying to say, hey, I'm just as good as anybody in this conference.
And that last one to Josh.
There you go.
Hey Coach, speaking of Jacoby, when you see an ankle breaker like he had early on, do you have any type of reaction to that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
you know what? I missed it.
They ran the
So-
replay 3 times.
I know, I missed it. I'll go back and watch it on tape, and I'll give you an answer, but it seemed like everyone else liked it, so as long as the crowd likes it, then I'm pretty happy with it too. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.